Look, firstly, David, thank you very much for accepting an offer to have a conversation and do this podcast. This is the first time I'm doing a podcast over the distance. Usually, it's face to face.
Yeah, you have all in studio stuff. I do like that. I've done a bunch recently, and they're definitely a different energy. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yep.
Much easier, I think. And if there is a conflict, which I've seen, there are a few, usually, with people doing some confrontation, I think it's easier to resolve them face to face. When people disagree, especially, that was quite funny. A few days ago, I watched an interview between two Davids. One is you, and then there is another David.
Yeah, that's when
And
Google fed you, Professor Dave, right?
Professor David,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
he's a failed musician. He's not a professor, and he's just full of it. He makes no points, and it's ridiculous. So I went into that. That was like 8 years ago or whatever, and I actually thought that he wanted to learn, but I didn't realize that he was a paid agent for for whoever the powers that be are.
Yeah, yeah. No, look, it was very upsetting, I think, the way people react to the opposite view, and it's normal to have the opposite view. But again, I watched the whole interview, and I think it was very disrespectful, and I think you did very well. The way
Yeah,
you,
I
uh,
mean, yeah, that's him. I mean, he's paid to do it. He knows the Earth is flat, right? But he is paid. He gets paid very well to do what he does. You got to check out the interview that Angels of Light and I did with PhD Matthew, and
okay.
this is a PhD who thought the Earth was a globe, and then came on, and we were expecting to go to a little bit of a battle, but he literally was finishing our arguments for us. He's like, well, that and he got it. He literally over this 2 hour podcast, he woke up. It's awesome.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
And look, you're definitely waking up a lot of people. Um, and my main probably question uh, would be not how you become awakened, but I think maybe we can travel a bit much further into the past. And I would like personally to know a little bit more about you,
Okay.
where you were born, where you're from, do you have brothers, sisters? Uh, your age is actually very similar to the age of my parents.
I don't identify with chronological age, so
No.
don't pigeonhole me in with your parents. All right.
Okay, I will not.
Okay.
Which country you from? Where you were
I'm
born?
in the USA. I live in Connecticut.
Okay,
That's near New
okay,
York City,
okay. Are you?
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah, I can imagine. We're not going to get into the politics as of yet. Maybe a bit later. Um, do you have brothers, sisters?
What country are you in?
Right now, I'm in Thailand.
Okay.
Temporary. I'm doing charity work in Thailand for a couple of months. I have my own charity with my partner. We're
Okay.
doing some work on the ground. However, the charity is registered in Australia. We permanently live there.
Okay.
Uh, but the background, the original background, the mother is Russia. That's what I was where I was
Are
born.
you being in Thailand? Are you disoriented from being upside down to being slightly sideways?
I'm not too sure if it's sideways this way or this way.
Yeah.
That's something you probably need to educate me.
It's so dumb. No need. It's just a globe joke. So, you
Yeah,
were asking me what you want to ask me, brothers and sisters?
yeah. Just a little bit about yourself. I know you mentioned a few times that you've been a successful businessman. It's just very interesting journey you
I'm
had
down.
and still having.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was born in Connecticut. I still live in the same town where I was born, and I went to college. I went into corporate America. I did what everyone's supposed to do. And then I left corporate America, started my own business with a couple partners and was doing very well. So I went from, college to corporate America to becoming an entrepreneur, making lots of money. and I kind of did what we're all supposed to do. And everything I did in my life up to that point was for money, right?
Yeah.
We're just told, make more money, make more money. And that was my main motivation for everything. And listen, money is a motivation because we need money to survive in this system. And then my truth journey really kicked in, a couple decades ago, and it started interfering with my professional journey. And a series of things happened, and I walked away from everything I built my entire life around. Thank God my father passed away years ago, because he would have told me I was crazy and talked me out of it, but it was the best decision I've ever made. And so here I am, Flat Earth Dave, talking about how God created us. We're at the center of creation, and traveling all over the world, speaking with people about it.
That's excellent. Anyone in particular in your life who changed your opinion, or it was self education?
Ask that question again.
Anyone in particular from the past who actually been the main point who changed the opinion? Because again, we were born not to believe in the flat Earth. We were born to actually and educated to believe in the globe.
Yeah,
Um,
not only were we completely brainwashed into believing the globe, we've been completely brainwashed so hard that if anyone tries to tell you different, you'll fight them to the death. People will literally fight to defend the globe. The globe is slavery. The globe is a disconnect from creation. People are like, what difference does the shape of the earth make? I still have to go to work on Monday. That's the standard thing everybody says. And the truth is, the globe lie is the thing that depowers you. It's the thing that keeps us a slave in the system. It's the thing that makes us compliant to the controllers that are trying to rule over us. The only thing over you would be God, right?
mhm.
God, you, and then if the government's lucky, I'll let them below my feet. But I don't like stepping in dog crap, so I probably won't even let them there. Um, so who in my life? I had always had an open mind. I was always looking into things. Certain little events happened in my life that literally led me here. Like my earliest school memory had to do with gravity and how I challenged the teacher on it. And the teacher goes, "Well, that's how I'm told to teach it, so that's how I'm going to teach it." And that could have been a spark that sent me down this path. Like, I got to question these things. But it was my friend Sophia Smallstorm. She is a content creator, entrepreneur herself. She did 9/11 Mysteries. She did Unraveling, I don't want to say it, Sandy, and then like Fishing Hook, the school in Connecticut. She did Unraveling that in 2, 3, 4, 5 dimensions or something like that. And these are great documentaries. And I was talking to her one day, and she's like, "Dave, I think the earth is flat." And I'm like, "Not you too," because I literally at that point was banning people from our social media, from the podcast, for even suggesting that I look into flat earth, because it's the dumbest thing ever. Right? So me, Mr. Open Mind, Mr. Conspiracy Analyst, refuse to look at flat earth because that's a step too far. Hey,
Mhm.
the elite are reptiles. I'll look into that. Right? Bigfoot is multi-dimensional. I'll look into that. Right? I'll look into everything. Flat Earth, step too far. Step too far.
Mhm.
So she's like, "Dave, you got to look into it." So normally when I look into something, I was like, "All right, let me look at this with an open mind. Let me figure out the truth here." But I said, let me disprove flat earth, prove the globe, and be done with these idiots even suggesting I look into it. That's the attitude I went in. And that back in 2014, 2015, when I was doing that, I couldn't find anything. You still can't find anything. But at that time, the YouTube algorithm was pretty good. YouTube's like, "Oh, you like this video? Here's another video that literally relates to that." Now, if you type in, "Hey, top 10 reasons the earth is flat," you'll get top 10 reasons the earth is not flat. Right?
Mhm.
The algorithm is trying to steer you away. So for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep. And I finally came out of that. And I'm like, wow, I think this earth is not a globe. That's for sure. I don't know what it is. And I didn't want to talk about it on my podcast because our podcast was doing really well deep inside the rabbit hole. And I was afraid we are going to lose all our listeners. And then like 1 week went by and I'm like, I got to talk about it. This is the truth. This is what we're doing. And we did that for another year. And the podcast kind of ran its course. They couldn't handle the flat earth. My two co-hosts couldn't handle the flat earth so much. And I started the Flat Earth podcast after that. There was no podcast back in 2014 about, or maybe it was even a couple years after. There was no podcast about flat Earth, so I started that with my co-host Curious Jay, and that went kind of viral. And then finally, years later, I walked away from everything I built in my life to do this, to talk to people like you, and I created this app, and the app is how I do it. Right? The app is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. But the app is $3. And I had asked God for a bunch of signs. And I said, it gave me 2 crazy signs. And I was like, can I have one more? And I went home and had to pay my bills that night. And my check from Apple had just come in. Right? And I was like, all right, let me pay my bills. And when I finished the last bill, I had $1 left over.
Wow.
And I was just like, I got to do this. And then I did it. I walked away from everything I built my entire life around, everything I went to college for, everything. It's funny? In college, I was super anti-astrology. Astrology is so stupid. Mars in retrograde. How could that affect you? It can't even affect our tides. That's my logical heliocentric thinking. And I loved astronomy. I was really, really, really good at astronomy. You know why? You know the show Cosmos with Carl Sagan? I don't know if you remember. It might be a little older. But it was a series that came out about space. And it was a scientist, Carl Sagan. And it was really, really good. And it had just come out when I was in college. And I'd watch it, and then I'd go to my astronomy class, and the teacher was watching it also. And he's like, we're going to jump from chapter 13 to chapter 42 because he was following the show. I didn't even have to read the book. I knew all the answers. And so that's why I loved it. I was really good at it. But then later in life, I realized astronomy, I took it for 4 years. Astronomy is pseudoscience, all of it. None of it's real. None of it. And astrology is the real science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I watched recently a podcast with Santos Bonacci, and I
Santos
think
Bonacci, I was going to say, he's the king. He's the king of it all.
he's the one who's promoting astrology and educating people on how to read the stars. And
Yeah.
again, his position, his view on the Earth is identical as yours. And I think the style of him explaining the flat Earth is slightly different from yours, but again, the view is identical.
Yeah. Santos is a
So,
good friend. We hung out. We hang out. When we used to, I go to Mexico sometimes, and he would lived right where we were. So we're still good friends. He's amazing. Everybody needs to watch his stuff. It's some of it, long form, but it'll teach you a lot. It'll teach you a lot. I still have a lot to learn. I'm like, when people ask me about astrology, I'm like, go watch Santos. Don't ask me. You're asking the wrong person. I understand a lot of it, but he's the one that can explain it.
it's very interesting how you mentioned that again from the childhood we were taught not to look left, not to look right, just follow the curriculum, not to believe in God and to believe in evolution.
So
Uh,
when I was a kid in school, they had prayer. They even read the Bible in some public schools. But then they removed that. They removed prayer and they replaced it with the space initiative. So the space initiative. Oh, that sounds good. Science, space. That's good. Well, if you understand what it is, it's literally anti-God. It is literally to dilute God and take you away from anything real. So, space is a fantasy that literally dilutes your soul's power. Period. And that's why they push it so much. That's why, even before you can talk, your parents probably put a mobile over your crib with planets. You had NASA sheets. If you watch Sesame Street, there's astronauts on there, right? and they do so much programming. It's unreal, and it dilutes your connection to reality.
What is your opinion now with AI, with all this new technology? Do you think actually uh, you will be able to open eyes to many more people, or you think it's the train is gone because of the AI? I think in maybe a few years back, there was a chance, to convince a person that the flat is the Earth is flat, it's not around, by doing the experiments. But now with all this AI, with all these crazy videos, with all this now new rockets flying, now we had the rocket flying to the moon and back, all this super editing,
The
super
Artemis
convincing.
the Artemis trip that they just took to the moon has literally made more flat earthers than I have. All right, it's
Mhm.
so bad. I think they're doing it on purpose at this point. I think they know the the truth is out of the bag. They can't put it back, and so they're trying to get ahead of it. They're trying to like expose space as being fake, and some major crisis is going to happen, and then it's all just going to come out, and everyone's going to be like, okay, I get it now. It's going to be a mess when it comes out, but that's a good thing. We need this place to have a major shift. So as far as AI goes, AI, it's just like everything else, our cell phones are trackers and they're listening to us, but I'm using it against them, teaching people about flat earth. We're able to connect via Zoom, right? Zoom is listening and watching us, but you and I are talking and then we're sharing on their platform, YouTube and wherever. So we are getting the word out. Like, some people say cryptocurrency is, to control us, but we're creating privacy cryptocurrencies and getting around that. And so there's all of these things. So I've been using AI to help me create some infographics and stuff, and it's coming out. It's absolutely amazing, what I'm able to do in no time at all to wake up more people. So, you know, if you use AI for everything, like I speak to a lot of high school classes, like a dozen high school classes every semester, different kids every year because they're new seniors, and this year I noticed some of them are like, well, just ask AI. They don't want to think anything. They'll just anything they have, they ask AI, right? It's like GPS. You have GPS in your car, you use GPS when you're going places.
Mhm.
Before, we used to know how to get places. Now our brains have melted and we need GPS to get across our own town, right? That's what's going on. Spelling, right? I'm a horrible speller because spell check just does it for me. Right. So when I was a kid, I was like, how do you spell this word? They're like, look it up in the dictionary. I'm like, I don't know how to spell it. How am I going to look it up? Look it up. They just make you look it up in a physical dictionary where you got to turn the pages with your hands. Right. Now it's just like people aren't learning anything. Their brains are getting very, very soft. But again, we can use that against them. We can use it against them.
Okay, that's excellent. And interesting that you mentioned that we can use it to our advantage. People will awaken. But for example, with vaccination, after the COVID, I think a year later, majority of the people realized that vaccine actually did more harm than what they were promoting with vaccinations. But still, people who had the vaccinations, they just rejected to admit that they were either injured
Wait,
or it was
hold on a
harmful.
second. Just say like the V word. Don't say the full word because YouTube's going to censor this. So
Yeah,
just talk in a little bit of code. So
okay.
we became human pin cushions. We took the V, right? Just talk that way. Otherwise, YouTube's going to censor it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, the question is when we took the V, and a year later or 2 years later, when the truth came out, majority of the people didn't admit still that they were injured or harmed by the V, uh, purely because they were probably ashamed. And again, now, or in the years ahead later, when the people will be admitting or not admitting, they'll be, let's say, admitting to to themselves that the Earth is flat. They're not going to admit it publicly. They were wrong in the past because I think that's the human's nature, the ego. Uh, what is your view on that?
What's my view on on what people are doing about the V?
Not the V, in general. Do you think people will actually publicly admit that they were wrong? For
It's
example,
hard.
in
It's
this.
hard for people to admit that they're wrong. People don't want to admit that the Earth is flat because then they have to rewire their whole life. People that got the jab, they're they're embarrassed, or they're like, ah, there's nothing I could do about it, or they still believe it, right? They believe that they can't believe. They're like, I can't believe there would be a conspiracy that big. I can't believe that they would try to kill us. That's your problem. You can't believe it. It's not about believing. It's about looking at the evidence and knowing. So, there's millions, tens of millions, could be hundreds of millions at this point of people that are gone because of the V. Like when I was a kid, no kid ever had a heart attack, ever had a stroke or a blood clot. Now it's just common. It's just everywhere. And they're like, oh, there's still people that line up to get their boosters and whatnot. You can't, the programming is so strong about all V's, about nuclear bombs, about the shape of the earth. And it's hard to break that programming in some people because when you break that programming, they have to admit that they've been duped, which means they're not in control. And a lot of people don't like that. We create a world around us, a world of beliefs and understandings where we're in control. We've got this. We know what we're going to do, what's going to happen next. We plan it, but when it's like, oh, by the way, these three major things that you thought you were right, you're absolutely wrong on, and you did all the wrong things, and everything related to that is going to affect you. Nobody wants to look at that. Nobody wants to look at that. Most people hated history class, and other courses because deep down inside they knew that they were being taught complete and total garbage. So when you come and start telling them about the old world or about the shape of the earth, they don't want to look at it because that means they'd have to go back to school. Essentially, they'd have to go back and relearn everything, and they don't want to do that. That was the worst 15, 18 years of their life. They don't want to do that. They don't want to have to go through that pain again.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's
Yeah,
again probably an embarrassment to themselves that
yeah,
that they learned it's incorrect.
yeah.
Uh, who do you think are the biggest beneficiaries of what we're now learning, what we now being brainwashed with? Is it the government or is it the certain institutions which you're aware of but you can't mention, or an elite, or maybe
Who are the
somehow else?
beneficiaries? You're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, the super elite, a lot of them we don't even know who they are. I think that the real rulers of this world live in lands that we're unaware of. They could be in the Southern Ocean. It could be past the shoreline of Antarctica. I couldn't tell you, but it's the super elite, the ones that are building the underground bunkers right now. The ones, they're all of the same bloodline, and they're all related. You look at Zuckerberg; he is Rockefeller's grandson. Hey, what?
Hmm.
What? How's that? The guy that made Facebook. They want you to believe that Facebook came out of nowhere. Excuse me. DARPA or whatever government agency, they were doing this thing called, I forget the name of it, something face something. Basically, it was a government run thing where people gave all their information like they do on Facebook, and there was some tension, so they shut it down, and the same day, Facebook started. So it went from government to private. It's not
Yeah.
private. It's friggin' Rockefeller's grandson running it. Or he's the face of it. He's not even running it. And,
Yeah.
people argue, oh, we can't do that technologically. Oh, we didn't have AI 10 years ago. We had AI probably 100 years ago, maybe 200 years ago, right? We're all of this stuff. There's nothing new under the sun. This is technology that's being re-released to us slowly, right? Look at what we have with AI right now. Well, they didn't just like, oh, we got AI. Let's quickly get this to the people as quick as possible. Let's just give this to everybody. No, no, they're giving us the dregs of what they have. They probably had stuff in the 60s that half the stuff we watch could have been pure AI and we wouldn't even know it.
Yep.
Right now, I mean, there's
Um,
so many people that are just being fooled by AI. I mean, I have other truth seekers that are like, Dave, did you check this out? I'm like, that's AI. They're like, what? Get out of here. So, it used to be in court, video evidence was that's it. You have video evidence, game over. Now video evidence is zero. It's zero. It has no value.
yeah.
It has no
Yeah.
value. And I think that's also being released very fast for the reason that maybe some files are going to become released that are going to show some things that are unimaginable, and everyone could go, it's AI, and 90 and the vast majority of the people will believe it because what they see in these videos are unimaginable. Therefore, it has to be AI. You can't fathom the stuff that some of these elite do, some of the things
Yeah.
that they eat, some of the things that they do things to, and therefore it has to be AI. And it's great. It's genius plan on their part to release AI this fast because as this stuff comes out, no one's going to believe anything. No one's going to know what to believe. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, makes sense. Especially now before the elections coming up in US. I think it's very convenient to mix up the AI files with the real ones, and as you said, you just confuse people.
Yeah. And the whole thing on the elections, they make it so if you don't vote, you're not patriotic. You have to vote. Well, if you vote, right, it's the left monster and the right monster still connected to the same monster. But if you vote, what are you saying? If you vote, you got candidate one, candidate two. If you vote for one and he wins, you've agreed to let him rule over you.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you vote for candidate one and candidate two wins, you agreed to let him rule over you because you voted to say that
yeah,
somebody can rule over me. So if you vote, you are agreeing karmically that somebody can rule over you. If you vote to be a slave.
that makes sense. Is it compulsory to vote in US?
Nope.
Oh, lucky you. In Australia, it is. You're getting fines if you don't vote.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's called democracy.
Wow.
Yes, the definition of democracy been misused.
Demon crapsy.
This is a better one.
Yeah. No, you're in Thailand. You're not in Bali. You're in Thailand. Never mind. There was the story in Bali that was wild with demons, but different story another time.
Okay. If you want, you can share. I'll be more than happy
Well,
to listen.
we're in a spiritual war. You know how you win a spiritual war? You convince people that a spiritual war doesn't exist. You convince
Mhm.
what's the greatest trick the devil ever did? He convinced people it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
So they they who are they? The demons, they're actual demons that are running this world. They feed off of our fear energy. How do you feed off of someone's energy? Well, you know what? I don't think people used to eat food. I think we used to live off the sun's energy, the energy coming out of the ground, the energy in the air. And there's a lot of proof that is the case. A lot of evidence too. Um, but these demons live off of our fear energy. So they're farming us for fear. So how do they do that? They make us sick. There were war, asteroids coming in from outer space. We're running out of food. We're running out of oil. All of this stuff. And then your life goes from crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis. As soon as you clean one up, another one starts by design. Right.
Yeah.
And then the news, north, east, west, south news is steering your mind. They're feeding you crisis at just the news. Like, when do they report on something beautiful? No, they only report on this person rolled his car and killed four people and he was drunk and, this shooting happened at this school, and it's just absolute and total fear. So we're constantly spilling the fear. So the story in Bali, a shaman told me, he said, the Bali people believe that the demons live under Bali. And for years, there was a lot of mischief or a lot of issues. And so the natives made a deal with the demons that once a year they would have a festival of a demonic festival, literally devils and just crazy demonic festival. And they would sacrifice some animals. And some people say children go missing, but we can't find the truth on that. And then everyone goes back to their homes, back to their hotels, and all the power on the entire island goes off for 24 hours. No one's allowed to go outside. No one's allowed to make any noise for 24 hours. And that's when the demons come up and clean up all the loose energy. I look at loose energy as like an oil spill. It kind of just stays there until someone cleans it up. Okay, interesting. And then there's no conflict for the year. The demons get their feeding and there's no conflict. Now, if you don't believe in demons, then that's a stupid story, but go look it up. They do that festival every year. If you go to Bali during that time, you're going to be trapped with no electricity and you can't make any noise. You can't go outside for 24 hours.
Interesting. It's interesting location actually to do it in Indonesia. I was reading the book recently, and they found in Indonesia one of the oldest. Was the pyramid built? I think 20 or 18,000 years ago it was built, and I
How did
believe
they date that? How did they get that date?
exactly, and the sizes was enormous. Again, no one knows, and again, it was discovered by the geologists, but no one is publishing those papers. About the discoveries. The local government prohibits digging under that pyramid in Indonesia because they, again, for maybe political reasons or for any other reasons they have. Uh, but yeah, they had the old civilization in Indonesia, which was very fascinating. And do you remember when exactly that festival happens in Indonesia, in
I don't know.
Bali?
Just search it. Use AI. Ask it when the festival is. It'll tell you.
Yeah, no, very interesting. And the shaman, was he from Indonesia or was he from
He's
India?
from I think he's from New Zealand.
A New Zealand shaman.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Have you ever had any interesting encounters with shamans where they could have told you something unusual?
I haven't had a lot of interaction with shamans. I did ayahuasca ceremony 4 times with a shaman, and that was all just very focused. I haven't had a lot of personal interaction with shamans.
Okay. And how was your experience with ayahuasca?
I was 4 completely different experiences. Each time it was exactly not what I expected, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Okay. Do you think is it something people need to try? Is it something you learn about yourself when you try it, or this is just for a different purpose?
So there's a lot of people that'll say none of these things, you don't need any of them. And I don't know if you need it. I think God put them here for a purpose to help us get through and understand what this world is. And I think that, between ayahuasca, and I haven't done iboga, but I've learned a lot about it. Iboga is another one. And, mushrooms, I think all of these things have super amount of benefit for people when used properly, not just used recreationally, to get high or anything. It's to learn something. And I learned a super lot. It changed my life. And I've only done it 4 times and I haven't done it again. And here's the thing. It will find you when you're ready. You don't have to find it. Like it kept jumping in front. It's like I was trying to drive down the road and a moose kept jumping in front of my car going, you need to look at this moose. Right. And that's how ayahuasca presented itself to me. And, 4 completely different journeys that were all perfect for their time. David Weiss here. I've been taking Masterpiece for probably over a year, maybe even 2 years. And the detox I feel from it is amazing. I have never felt better in my life. I know that sounds like a lot, but I sleep better. I have amazing dreams when I take it at night. I take it twice a day most of the time, but sometimes I only take it once a day because I forget. But it's definitely a an amazing product. And now with the new research they've done where it is literally getting rid of the nanotech in your body, I can't imagine not having any. So there you go. That's my testimony, and I love the stuff, and I'm never going to stop taking it.
Interesting. Have you seen on YouTube the laser experiment?
Yes. I have it
What is
all set up. I have everything here. I have my DMT. I've got the laser. I've got the refraction. I haven't had the right
bought a
opportunity
lighter?
to do it yet. I haven't had the right opportunity to do it.
You just need to buy a lighter or matches.
I have, yeah, I have it all set. It's all set. I have it in a vape. I could just vape it. It's
Yeah.
that easy. And I I just the situation has to be the right situation to do it. So
Uh,
I don't push these things. I just let them happen when they happen.
yeah, I discovered that phenomenon recently.
Did you
Maybe
do it?
no, I haven't, but I'm very eager to actually to do it. Yeah, we'll see. In the near future, definitely would like to try it and see because when you listen to the feedback, it's definitely fascinating. Again, that's something I think you want to discover. You want to see by yourself. It's the same as with the flat Earth. You know, you need a proof. If you want to prove, you go and try. You go and measure. You go and do your experiments. If you don't need it, if you don't want to, you just leave it.
Yeah. I mean, I when I do it, like I've done DMT not that many times, but when I do it, you have to have the right setting. I'll light a little incense sometimes. I'll use my tuning fork to I'll put on some holy harmony. It has to be the right situation, or you need a good shaman to be with you. Um,
Hmm.
so there you go. And with like people like, oh, if you do that, you could let demons in your body. You can let demons in your body every day, all day long, if you're not spiritually grounded. So it's you are responsible for yourself. Nothing can affect you unless you allow it.
I think you're getting your demons in when you turn on the CNN or BBC. That's when you're
Yeah,
letting them in.
I say don't watch the news. It gives you cancer.
It does actually.
Yeah,
That's that's 100% right.
and
Probably emotional to start with.
to understand that your thoughts literally create your reality, create your internal health. Your thoughts create your health. Like if you keep your emotions bottled up all in your life, you're going to end up with blood clots and having a heart attack and a stroke. All of that stuff is just going to build up in your body. If you don't express yourself and think the proper thoughts, you're going to have all health problems and life problems.
I can't agree more. I ask you another question, David. What is your purpose in life?
You
I've
that years ago I wouldn't have known. I would have said something to do with business, but my purpose is to help people find out the truth about where they are and who they are. And I'm doing a good job at it, I think.
I think you do definitely.
Yeah,
And what I admire is you being super patient and being able again to get into these discussions, which are quite hot sometimes. But again, that's very admiring. And do you know much about Jordan Maxwell or Bill Cooper?
yeah.
Have you heard much of them? Yeah,
I,
look, I think they had similar purpose as you. Uh, what do you think is the difference between you and them?
I've
Because
never.
everyone is looking for truth.
Everyone's looking for
Oh,
truth, and my journey is my what I feel my calling is to bring people to the understanding that we're not on a globe and that the earth is intelligently designed. What does that mean? It means that once you see, you can't deny the creator because I denied the creator my whole life. right? So that's my journey. Once I get people to that point, I'm done with them. Now the journey's your own. I'm not going to tell you where to go, what to do, what your relationship is with the creator. But now that I showed you that you can't deny creation, my job's done.
Hmm.
That's it.
That's excellent.
Here,
And
I'm listening.
when you mention a creator, are you able to define for yourself who is a creator, or do you try not to define intentionally
I
because it's really
intentionally
hard
try
sometimes?
not to define, but I believe that the Bible is the greatest history book of all time. I believe that man has tried to corrupt the Bible. I think there's, the book of Enoch, which most people have never heard of or read, is a very important book of the Bible. And I let people find their own way from there, and there's a lot of different names and explanations that you can put on who or what God is. That's all right. That's whatever you do for you. That's for you, and I do for
Hmm.
me. You know. So
Do you
people
do
ask
any
me, am I a
meditation?
Christian? I am. I have the. I believe in Christ consciousness. It's not a new age thing. Christ is within us, the Christ consciousness. And that's kind of as far as I like going because I want people to figure it out themselves for themselves. Anyone that says, if you don't do it this way, you're going to hell, I don't listen to those people.
Do you do any meditation?
Meditation?
Yes.
I do. Yes, I do. I do slack on it sometimes, but I have a Tesla coil, and when I go on the Tesla coil, um, I I do a good meditation. I have let me see. I'll show you. Um, so this is my coil, but I have a headset that goes over my head, and while I'm on that, I'll meditate for a good amount of time, and it's absolutely amazing. Try to see if the headset is on here. I'm not on this one. Um, but I'll also meditate without it regularly. But yeah, meditation is super important. Super important.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Wow. What a
Yeah.
device.
Yeah, so here's the headset right here. So you kind of just put your head underneath there. It's kind of like the old-fashioned hair dryers, and
Hmm.
and then it fills your body with this life force energy. So you're supercharged, and then
Yeah.
it's super relaxing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Is it made in US?
It's made in Mexico.
In Mexico?
They
Okay.
ship them worldwide. If anyone's interested, you can reach out to me. They're not cheap. They're
Hmm.
not cheap at all. But there's a whole bunch in Australia. And the thing is, these things when you turn them on, they affect miles of area. I don't know how many, but the more of these things there are around the earth being used, the more of a coherent field that it builds for us, where we're supposed to be in this coherent field. I mean, if you look at the old world, you've looked into the old world, right? You got the map. You have a map up there. Um,
Hmm.
the whole world had this energy system with all the pyramids and the buildings with the domes and towers. There was some sort of coherent energy across the world. This is bringing it back.
Very interesting. I've never seen, I never heard of this device actually. It would be interesting to learn about it.
Yeah, well, you can email me info at theflatearthpodcast.com and I'll send you some information and you can look into it yourself. This is my wife. She's on the headset and it works absolutely amazing.
Yeah, excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
And do you need any FDA approvals to use it? What do you think?
It's just a
Or
science kit. It's just for
okay.
experiments.
Yeah,
It doesn't claim to do anything or cure anything. Some of the
yeah,
side effects, though, people that had things that they were sent home to go die happen to go away. That's a side effect, though. This
yeah,
is just a science kit that we people can play with. That's
yeah.
how
Excellent.
that's how I'll word it.
No, very, very interesting. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
That's something to look at. Okay. Look, th this is a very, very interesting and noble purpose in life you have. And what about your wife? Is she supporting in your mission?
Oh, 100%. We both discovered it, flat earth at the same time. I kind of took the lead, but she's totally on board. We're both awake and aware to all the stuff going on in the world. And we're not afraid. The world is crazy. The world is absolutely insane. Everything in this world is fake. The air is fake. The food is fake. The sunlight is fake. Um, all the news is fake. Everything is fake. Well, this is a fake world. But when you're awake, you can live in the real world and observe the fake world. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, as you said, you have to observe. That's one thing is left because it's very hard to change it unless you have the majority
Well,
on board.
that's actually not true. You can change the world. One person awake is more powerful than a million sleeping. So, and then that's what they want. They want us separated. They want us afraid of each other. They want us fighting with each other because they want that loose energy. As I said, they're farmers. They're literally loose farmers. And if you don't react and fight them, if you just send love out instead of fear, they're going to leave you alone because they're efficient farmers. They're going to go to someone else that's going to feed them, right? I
Mhm.
don't feed them. I don't deal with demons. That's my saying. I don't deal with demons.
David, this is amazing. This is very, very interesting. Uh, I have an idea. We are traveling back to Australia in a few weeks.
Hmm. Where in
When we
Australia? Where in Australia?
Sydney, Sydney.
Sydney. I think I have, yeah, all right, good. What do you want to do in Australia?
I want to set up another podcast with someone who is super against your theory, not theory, your facts, your view. I'll have him in the studio, and we'll have you, and we'll have
I'm not,
again.
I don't, again, when you say someone who's super against, somebody that is here to debate for the globe
No, 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 no
or somebody
debate,
that just believes in the globe.
no debate. 100%. He believes, and it would be interesting, I think, to have this conversation because he's very intelligent. He's very successful, and for some reason, he's not. He wasn't flexible enough. But I think we can try to have
Yeah,
the
we
that.
can go over it. Yeah, absolutely. That's fun. This is um this is my tuning fork. Tell me if you could hear this.
Yes, I can hear it. Yes.
It's 528 hertz. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
It changes the energy in the room. You hold it over your water or your drink or whatever, and it changes the water. It changes the structure of all of the liquid in your body. Oops. Amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
For how long you hovering? It's on top of the water.
Just a couple seconds,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And you could put it like on a bone and it just sends the energy right in.
Hmm.
And I don't know how the sound comes through the microphone, but it's absolutely calming and beautiful.
It is very calming, actually.
Yeah,
That's something. That's something you wanna do or hear when you're meditating.
absolutely. I do it before I meditate. I do it every morning when I get up first thing. And when I go on my Tesla coil, I'll actually use it while on the coil sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the other frequency? I think 432 was
Four, three,
also.
two. Yep.
Yeah. Is it something you listen as well, or you
I
prefer?
only have the 528. Again, everything that's really cool isn't cheap.
Yes.
Okay. So, you can't have everything. Maybe you can. Maybe that's my problem. I think that you can't have everything when you actually can have everything.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah. This is
What?
a little flat earth model this guy makes. They're absolutely amazing. Now, if you look, you can see the lights in here. You see the round one. You see
Yes.
These are the lights that are in my room, and they look like luminaries. It's actually freaking me out a little bit when I look at this. So if you take this thing and go outside in the sun with it, and then spin around, just turn around, you'll see the sun, the actual sun floating in there, and it'll circle around the flat Earth. And if you lined it
Wow.
up, like, okay, I'm in America, and I'm gonna draw a line from where I'm looking through America, and I aim it north, and then I look, the sun will be exactly where the sun actually is. The sun will be it'll just show up exactly where it is. It's a compass. Yeah.
This is very cool. This
It's
is
very
very
cool.
cool.
If you want to buy these, they're on my website. I don't make anything from them. They're on the
Yeah.
app. They're on the app. They're not on my website. If you go to the app and you go to the shopping cart, this guy sells them on eBay. Where they? There, you go, right here. Boom, flat Earth models,
Yeah. I can see them. They're
and
perfect.
he's got all different versions, and they're very cool. They're cheap too. They're not too expensive.
That's definitely. I'll buy something.
Yeah, but it actually looks really nice in your house, and if you take it outside, like I brought one to a conference. I was at an Acapulco conference, and people that weren't so sure about flat Earth, I'm like, take this outside, look at it, and then spin around, and everybody comes back. They're like, whoa, whoa, because the first time I did it, I was like, whoa, it's mind blowing what you see.
Okay, can't wait. Can't wait. That's something we'll order right away.
There you go.
Excellent. Dave, thank you very, very much for your time. It is it was very nice to meet you,
All
to
right,
do this podcast with you
Val.
over the internet.
Just for people, for your listeners, if you're not awake to flat Earth, my app, it's $3. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. And every day there's a daily video right here. And I say, just while you're having your morning coffee, tea, whatever, watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you still think the Earth is a globe, you can send me one proof and you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, don't waste my time. You got to hit the question mark button. And here's the frequently asked questions, and check here to make sure it already hasn't been answered thoroughly. And what happens is, if you do that, you'll actually become a flat earther. And good luck. It'll change your life forever. It matters.
Beautiful.
The shape of the earth doesn't matter. It's who you are, where you are, what this place is, what our true power is, and what the demons are trying to do to control you. And once you see through that, you unplug from the matrix, right?
Yeah, that's I think the main purpose and the goal.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, we'll do that. I will myself download it right away and use
Okay.
it, not for the purpose of winning bitcoins, but for the
No,
education
to
purposes.
educate yourself. In it, I have if you click the images section, let me just show you a thing, and you have all these images. I just added a thing called infographics. So I would type in info, boom, and I have all these amazing infographics that all the top questions are answered, right? And you can forward these to yourself. You can post them on Facebook. You can do all sorts of stuff. Each infographic is mind blowing. It gives you all of the answers and everything's there. But there's tons. There's thousands of images in here. Thousands of images. Just search, sun under clouds or horizon or whatever you're looking for. You'll find it. I also have the friend finder where you're in Sydney, right?
Yes.
So let's just go take a look here. I'll do the world view, and Sydney would be over here. Where's Sydney? Right here. These are the people that are using the friend finder in Sydney, in Melbourne. Is this Melbourne or Sydney?
This is Melbourne. Yeah.
Melbourne. There you go. Where's Sydney?
A bit to the right.
So this way?
Yep.
Up
A
here.
bit more.
There it
Yep,
is.
here it is.
Yeah. So there you go. These are people in Sydney that have that are using my app.
Oh, wow.
And you can actually contact them. You can click on a dot and send them a message. You can set up a meetup. And for those, these are all the people around me. You can
Dave, Dave, are you sure it's not a dating website?
there is a dating website. So if you
Ah,
click the
is
heart, click the heart, and You put in your year. I put myself as 1 year old because I don't want to show up in anyone's searches. They say, okay, I'm interested in people of these ages within 1,000 miles. And you say search, it'll find everybody. But I've already done it. And I checked off 19. So I'm just going to click the heart at the top there. And here are 19 women within the radius that I've selected that I
Yeah,
can
wow.
that I can just switch and look, and I can send a message. I can click right here, send them a message, and
Yeah.
there's people that have gotten married and had babies already.
Yeah, wow. You're like a matchmaker.
Well, it's the app is $3 one time charge, but
Hmm.
if you want to use the advanced features like the friend finder and and send people messages and create a profile, you have to subscribe for ready $11 a year. All right, $11 a
Hmm.
year. But just for those people that want to complain about buying one margarita, on the app, if you click this button right here in the friend finder, this is the referral area. You'll have a random number here. You can just change yours, click the pencil and change yours to Val, right? And
Yeah.
then anytime you show someone the app or share something, they're like, where do I get that app? You're like, oh, get it here and use my referral code, and then you get points.
Hmm.
For every 11 points, you get a free year subscription and other things too. You also
Yeah.
earn cryptocurrency, free cryptocurrency that you can play with and lose it and still lose nothing. Right? So you earn a couple million dome shot coins. We have our own crypto, and that you can use for discounts on things and purchase things. But you get it for free, so there's no complaining.
This is super interesting.
Yeah,
Look, I myself as well in crypto, and I definitely would like to do some more research on your app and see what we can do.
absolutely.
Uh,
There's also this one right here is um is the Flat Earth flashcard. So I hit start, and there's a couple hundred, there's over 200 different flashcards that you can send people. So I can just click right here and text this to my friend and go, oh, there's no proof of Flat Earth. So every morning I'll send them a new card. Right. This one actually has an infographic. If I click the info, it'll take me to a video about this card. So
yeah.
there's all these different cards, and you can just share them with people. There's all sorts of stuff on here.
How
Uh,
long did it take you to develop this app?
I'm still developing it. I started in 2018. Excuse me. Um, the shopping again. I showed you the flat Earth models. I got my
Hmm.
T-shirt shopping here. Talking about the becoming a human pincushion masterpiece. There's something that everybody should be taking to detox you from all of the nanotech that they're putting in your body. There's a conference going on in Arizona this November. It's called the International Truth Expo, and there's one in Spain. I'm going. It's called the Guru Gathering, and I'll be there. So if anyone wants to go to Spain and check it out, and there's all sorts of amazing stuff. This is my Weiss compass. Right, north is in the center. South is the metal cutouts. They're amazing. People love them.
Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah, that's icewall.shop, or you can just go through the app. And excuse me, all sorts of different things that I use that I love. There's a homeschool section, and most very important, the old world section. Absolutely amazing. If you haven't looked into the old world, the lost history of flat Earth, a 5 hour video. Don't watch it. All right, whatever you do, don't watch it because it'll change your life forever. But my lunch break. Have you know about my lunch break?
No, I haven't. I
My
haven't
lunch
seen
break
it.
is on every platform: YouTube, TikTok, Rumble. Start watching. Mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. My lunch break. That's all you got to remember. It's here in the app, but you can just find it yourself. Search my lunch break. Watch 2 episodes, and you will be addicted.
Excellent. You know what? I was addicted after watching a couple of your interviews. I can't wait to see what is in those folders with all these
Yeah.
materials.
And I have the meetup maker. Very important. Go in and say, alert me of local meetups, and then select your radius, put in your email, and it will email you anytime someone sets up a meetup that's within your radius. That way you won't miss it. You don't even have to worry about looking at the app and checking. And so there's all of the, let me just go back. All of these meetups, I'll just say, search by date, and we'll say, we'll just move it up. Say search. There's 6 meetups, and you can just check out these meetups, and they're all over the place. International Truth Expo. There you go. And there's so much more to the app.
Excellent. All right, let's learn together. I hope my audience will download it, and we will learn together and explore it. And I think again in a month or so we will reconnect, and I'll share with you my feedback.
Okay.
And we'll have the podcast with one of my friends.
Last thing, you're going to put this on YouTube, right?
Yes.
So everybody listening, I want you to check out. People love reading comments. When you see a positive, pro-supporting comment, check out their channel. Probably a cool channel, cool person. You can see who they are. But then the trolls are going to show up. I got a whole list of them. And they have empty channels. They will never offer a glow proof. They'll just call me a grifter, a liar, a scammer. They'll call me all just names, but they have no glow proof, and their channels are empty. They're either bots, hopefully they're bots, or they're really lazy trolls that are just horrible at what they do. And they'll hang out, as popular as your video is, they'll hang out there for months in your comment section. Anytime anyone makes a comment, they'll immediately comment to them to try to drain their energy. They're demons.
Okay, we'll try to make sure they don't appear on our
Well,
channel.
they'll appear. It's up to you. I just block them all, so
Yeah.
they don't bother me on my channel.
Yeah, we'll do the same.
All right.
David, it was such a great chat.
Thanks,
And
Val.
I can't wait to have another talk, and hopefully maybe this year we can meet in person.
Okay. Who knows where we'll be? Come to Spain. Guru Gathering in September. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You can find it on my website, and you can find it on the app. Just check it out.
Maybe there will be an opportunity to actually meet in September, because in July I will be in Europe.
Okay. Well, in September in Spain, it's going to be there. And the Ikes, Iconic, David Icke and his sons, they just filmed me, and they're filming some other people. They're releasing a flat Earth movie, a movie about exploring flat Earth, because Jamie Ike just discovered flat Earth, and he's like, what? He didn't even know anything about it. So he's coming into making a video kind of dispelling all of the nonsense that the anti-flat earthers make. And it's going to be great, and it's going to premiere at the Guru Gathering.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, that's where we will be meeting, hopefully.
All right.
But otherwise, we'll be in touch in a month or so on another podcast.
All right, man. Val, thanks. See ya.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you.
Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground, won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around. Oh, I stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down.